Once again, good morning, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. The topic of this webinar is mainly focused on a full demo. So we're going to keep this introduction very brief. My name is Tim Passhuizen. I'm the co-founder and CSO of Stylelabs. And I have here with me Tom de Ridder, other co-founder and the CTO. If you have any questions, we'll try to make some room for questions during the webinar. If not, do not hesitate to reach out either at tom@stylelabs.com or tim@stylelabs.com or on either of these Twitter accounts. We'd love to get back to you. First, a very brief introduction of what a Marketing Content Hub is. Marketing Content Hub is a new proposition we're trying to pitch, and it basically comes from our experience with marketing technology projects. Most of the time, when we come into a project, the situation looks more or less like this. In the middle of this diagram is our client, who is usually a marketeer or even a product manager. And they're facing a challenge of, on the one hand, a number of master data systems, and this is visualized on the left, that hold bits and pieces of marketing content. It could be product information in an ERP or a PLM system. It could be an enterprise-wide taxonomy or controlled vocabulary. It could be some kind of legacy system or even an external MRM platform, or even external agencies or suppliers. On the other hand, on the right-hand side is a growing number of publication channels where content needs to end up. And with content marketing, the challenge becomes even more challenging in the sense that content needs to be consistent across channels, and the number of channels is growing. So the way to deal with this, in our opinion, is not just to add another digital asset management system, because basically that would add another dot on the left, another silo between the master data systems. So we decided to go sit exactly where our client is, in the middle. And the ambition of the Marketing Content Hub is really to do marketing master data management, provide a 360-degree view on all of your marketing content and processes. In order to deliver on that promise, we need obviously a repository in the middle, and that is a starting point. We need the tools to aggregate content coming from the left-hand side into the middle piece, and then to publish it towards those publication channels on the right-hand side. And then to make it complete, we have two more supporting layers. The first one is the creative project management and collaboration tools, which takes the project manager as a central item in the way that we look at marketing processes, and then empower the team, empower the project manager with tools and with overview and dashboards, rather than try to automate marketing processes. And then the final piece is the outer layer that says marketing and brand portal, which is in essence a WCMS functionality, not meant at building consumer sites, but meant at building a portal around the structured content living in the middle. And that portal can accommodate more editorial type of content. So text in pages and pages go in sitemap that deserve to live close to the structured content in the middle because they're closely related. A good example could be brand guidelines. Another example could be campaign briefings. And basically also setting up a dialogue with the community of marketeers, agencies, product managers, sales folks that are working on your brand right here in the middle. So I'm going to hand it over to Tom now for a demo, and we'll be going over these different elements of the diagram one by one, and here and there try to point out what piece of the diagram we're actually demonstrating here.
Okay, hello to everybody. So I'm logged in here in the Marketing Content Hub as Tom de Ridder. This is my homepage, the homepage of the portal, which can be tailored obviously towards your business needs. The homepage has a tile-based concept. Tiles can hold anything from just editorial content to database content like tasks assigned to me or downloads assigned to me, but also a favorite product of the month here, or a campaign that we're running right now. Yeah, just a small word on this demo. This is a demo that we've set up around a fictive wine wholesaler. So this demo holds products, wines, obviously other drinks, but also recipes that we can make with wine, and a lot of assets, obviously. Other tiles that we see here are search tiles, or even direct links to guidelines that live somewhere in the application, or even a live Twitter feed here from our Twitter account. So that's the homepage. One thing you should know is that the full app, including the homepage, obviously is responsive. So if I would make my window the size of a phone, you would see that these tiles reorganize nicely. They don't actually scale, but they're reorganized to fit the current screen. So I can also put it into tablet mode. You can see that the menu here becomes something like this. So it is workable with your thumb without having to pinch out and pinch in, responsive design. And this is true for all pages within the application. So what I'm going to demo now is take you through the content part of the application, where we organize all of our content. So we're going to search for content, download content, and then in the end also upload some content. Part 2 will be about the project piece, where I will drive a little project on how to create new content and get it approved and eventually get it published inside of the Content Hub. So let's go to the search page, where I will start the demo. So the first thing you should know is, and you'll notice is, the search page has two zones. This left zone is for me to operate my search filter, and then the right zone are the results. The results here are not just files, not just assets like in a regular DAM system, but we have other things. We have domain entities, new definitions actually, that live within the marketing aggregation world. So for example, marketing people, they don't just need assets, they also need product information, they need campaign information, they probably, next to products, also need SKU information, because it's important where a certain product is sold and what the stock keeping unit is, and maybe also, in the case of the wine industry, some recipes. So obviously these definitions are free for you to configure and free for you to choose. You can configure any domain model for any business. The only one that comes out of the box here is asset, and then we have templates and best practices on how to set up these other definitions. These definitions can then be coupled and aggregated from existing systems like your ERP, or these can be hosted as master data items within the system itself, like recipes in here doesn't come from anywhere else. It's master data within the hub. So let's see what happens if we just click asset, for example. If we just click asset here on our faceted search, then we will filter our system to just show files, and then it becomes a regular dump system. One thing you notice is that the facets will actually only reflect those items or those tags that actually have results. So you see that a lot in e-commerce sites. Facets are a very good way to drill down to large amounts of content, like hundreds and thousands of items, so that in a couple of clicks your facets go down and your results go down to like 20. It all comes down obviously to setting up a good taxonomy structure, and so that people can freely choose which drill down path to take, and that it all makes sense. So that's faceted search. Next to faceted search, let me clear the filters. We also have full text search with suggestions. So if I type something like Paul, I will get Palagio. Palagio is a wine domain that is known to be owned by a rock star called Sting from the Police. And what you see now is that I get a mixed search result. I get products, here they are colored yellow. I get different SKUs, and then I get actual assets, even a little video here or a Word document. So this mixed search results reflects the marketing domain that we find for the word Palagio. So let's take it a little bit deeper and let's look at a product detail page, for example. So if I'm surfing towards the product detail page, remember this is still the marketing content hub. This is not your e-commerce system, or this is not the public website. It's where all of the content comes together. And what we see here is content coming from a marketing system, maybe a piece of content coming from the ERP, winemaker notes coming from the agency, SKUs again coming from the ERP or the PLM, campaign information maybe just put in inside the system here, and a couple of recipes that we also created inside our system. That's what we see in the left column. The right column shows us the main asset for this product, and then other assets that are linked to this product. So we get to see the aggregated content for a product. It usually makes much more sense to see it this way than to just find individual files that all have metadata tagged to it. What I can do here, I obviously have the dump piece, so all of the files can be previewed with our flyout. We can see a little bit more metadata. We can download the original file immediately. We can download a preview. We can actually view a larger preview of this file. We can make this image the master image, or we can put it into our basket. This regular dump stuff from the product detail page. So if I go to the asset detail page, this is the detail page of the image of Sting and Trudy. And let's look at some of the system fields here that we've recovered from this image. So you can see that we extract all of the IPTC, XMP, and EXIF data within the system, and we can actually map it to existing fields also within the system. So this is a TIFF of 30 megabytes. This is the resolution. It's in RGB, 10 megapixel file made with a Nikon D80 camera. We even see the shutter speed here, and it's saved with Adobe Photoshop CS4 on a Mac computer. All of this data is also full text indexed so that you'll be able to find this picture based on anything you see here. Then there's the custom metadata, or the user metadata, that we don't retrieve out of the file itself, but it is added either by a system or either by a human being. This can be edited also straight from the page here. We can add descriptions, credit, release date, DRM fields, anything you want. And obviously this schema is extensible towards your needs. These are just fields we created so that the demo makes a little sense, but we have many kinds of fields. We have hierarchical fields, we have search fields, date fields, and they all have their responsive controls with them. Okay, let's go back to my product detail page and let's look at a couple of other pieces of content. Here, let's look for a recipe, for example. I like this pork belly Sam. That should go good with the wine. And then we can see that we actually enter a detail page of a recipe, which again can be edited in full here with our rich text editors, and we can then link it to a wine. And then we see that actually it's linked to this Palagio wine here. And then here's again the assets that go with this recipe. I have some methods of how to grill the pork belly here, and I can again download the original and do whatever I want with this asset. So you kind of get the idea. It is content linked together, more like in a website or a web application, but with the full functionality behind it to edit the content and to link the content and to distribute the content. Let's look at a couple of additional dumb features here. So let's go back to the search and let's see what kind of asset types we can typically store within the system. So let's look at documents, for example. We've seen a lot of images. Let's look at a couple of documents. So we also do previews of Word files. So we actually generate a visual of it so that you can see what it is. Also PowerPoint files. We will actually make it fully browsable so that you can actually view the PowerPoint from the browser very quickly without having to download PowerPoints. We all know that PowerPoints can get large. I'm not applauding that, but that's what we realize. Let's look at another a couple of other document formats. Here I have a couple of videos here. So here's a video of Sister Moon song, actually sung by Sing. So we have video preview, streaming, and obviously we also have thumbnails generated automatically so that you can see what this is. Another interesting file format is our composite asset format. So what we do here is, and this is an example of an InDesign package. It's a zipped InDesign package that was uploaded, and we actually extract the full package so that you can see what's in there. So you can see in the root we have the InDesign file and the PDF file. We have some instructions text file, and then within the links folder we have all of the items that were used to create this InDesign document. We have the Illustrator logo in here. We have the cover PSD file, so it's a 45 megabyte PSD that sits in there, but the Illustrator logo is merely a single megabyte. So we allow you to download only this Illustrator logo without having to download the full zip here, and we can actually allow previews here without having to download anything. You can sneak into the InDesign package. This button is also particularly interesting because we can actually find all of the publications where this Illustrator logo is used in. So we see that the exact Illustrator logo is used in these two publications. So if this changes, I know which publications will be affected automatically. Okay. So this doesn't only work with Illustrator, with InDesign files. Obviously, it works with all zip documents or all zipped formats. If you have training videos that are zipped and that have separate audio and voiceover scores and even a separate text file, then you will be able to see it exploded within the system by just uploading the zip document. More, we will also extract the metadata of all of the individual components within that zip document and feed it to the full text search so that you will find the zip based on metadata that lives inside a binary within that zip document. Let's have a look at what we can do with a product detail page in case of printing it. So I'm going to this Sister Moon again. I did edit some content here. So maybe I was wrong, maybe it's only 13.9. And then I can actually generate a couple of printable PDFs here of templates that I've made. I can generate a card or a sheet or a hanger. Let's try the hanger. So click the button and then the high-res PDF engine on the server will do its magic and it will download me a printable PDF file of the latest content here. And this is, as you can see, a hanger that I can put over a bottle, and it has the 13.9% that I just edited here, and I put the last facts actually here. So we can do a lot of those designs. You can create your own designs and then upload them as templates within the system, link them up to actual fields and images, and then let people create beautiful collateral automatically without you having to follow up on that. Let's look at a campaign, another nice thing here. So we can see that this product is used in a campaign, and the campaign is called You're a Rockstar, and this campaign runs from June 30th until August 31st, and it's actually all about Rockstar wines, and these wines actually play a role in this campaign. And then these are campaign images that we link directly to the campaign, and we can have a campaign description here. And then we can start building stories. And stories in the campaign is the social media part of the hub. Each story can have messages. Let's look at the destination Il Palagio story here. And we can start creating messages within this story and then publish them automatically to a number of social channels. So I can actually prepare a full story here with messages that are to be sent out at later dates automatically. So let's try one of these here. and then I can either set the publish date, but what I will do is I will set it to publish now, because I want to see it immediately, and I want to post this to, let's say, Twitter and Facebook, and I want an image linked to this, probably of some nice pork. This looks nice. I select it, and then just say save. So now this tweet or post will be published right away, because I didn't put a publish date to my Twitter account. So let's have a look if we actually can see it already. Maybe on Facebook. And these were the demos from 3 hours ago. Sometimes a post don't appear immediately. So let's check back in a couple of minutes, but as you can see, it's interesting because we can lay it out over multiple weeks, and then the system will automatically do the posts for you. And then what's also great is we will track back the number of retweets and the number of likes here, and you can see them straight from here and see how well those messages have done and see which images actually scored best. Okay, back to the home page. Let's check out upload. No, let's check out download first. So we've seen how to search for stuff, but how about downloading? Because there is a dump piece in it after all. So let's check a couple of assets here, and maybe also a document like this Word, and then I have 7 items selected, and I hit download. Before they actually download, I am presented with a download options screen that allows me to put in a couple of conversion options ad hoc. So you've realized, if you've noticed that I could actually download either the original or the preview. Here I have more options, and these presets that we present here, for example, web presentation, high-res or custom, they are system-wide, but they can be overridden, or you can add your own presets. So for example, I want the images to be downloaded for the web. So then the system will say, okay, then we'll put them into RGB 72 dpi color scheme. We can do stuff with layouts. Layouts are typically Illustrator files. Documents, we can convert Word documents to PDFs. Audio files to MP4, to MP3, and video files to either MP4 and WebM. So these conversions are based on our conversion matrix, where we put in what's sensible, but this can be overridden and can be tailored for any customer. Then I hit the next button, I agree, and I submit my order. So this will now be sent to the queue, and another system, our processing agent, will start working on it. It's already finalizing, as you can see. This means it's zipping, and then it's completed, and then I can actually download this zip file that will contain 7 files. And if I open this, this one contains the 7 files with PNG conversions as asked, and then the Word document is converted into a PDF. You can also email this zip document to somebody that has no account in the system. It will be an encrypted link, pretty much like WeTransfer or you send it. So you can send them the link. Clicking on the link will download the zip package immediately, and then the link will disappear after 24 hours. Very well, let's look at upload. So to upload new stuff within the Content Hub, there's a simple 3-step approval built in that comes out of the box. But as you will see later, you can make much more complicated things with the project management piece of the software, but let's do it like this now. So let me take a couple of assets here, drop them on the canvas, and I just hit the start upload button. To make this realistic enough, you can see we're hosting this on Azure right now, and this is an East US Azure account. So we're from Brussels, so it's pretty far away from here. So it's actually one of the worst circumstances to host or to demo a web application. But this way you get to see what it does in real life. So almost there, you can see that the thumbnails are created asynchronously. So everything is created now, and then I can start putting metadata on these new assets. So I could either do it one by one, go to the detail page, start editing the form, but I can also do a bulk edit here. So I add all of the files to my selection, and then I say edit, and then I'm entering a mouse edit of all of these files, and I can select my properties that I've chosen to be available in the bulk edit. Let me alter the description here. Let's just say chefs, apply. I can pick another field that I want to edit, like brand. I pick a brand, brand 1, there we go, apply. And then I can run this, and it will run as a job, and it will actually put those values on all of those assets. And it's already completed because our database is an in-memory database, runs pretty fast to do updates like that. So let's go back to my uploads, and let's check one of these assets out. Let's look at Ruby here. So we can see that indeed the description has become chefs. So what I want to do now is I want to publish these assets and submit them to the system, and because I'm an administrator, I can actually bypass the review zone. Otherwise, they would come into the review zone where they need some final checkup, and then they can actually be published. But if I do a submit here, these files will be published to the search engine for public use. So let's see if we can actually find them. We reverse the created on. And there they are. So if I do a created on descending, then I will get the latest assets first, and these are my images. Okay, something else I'm going to show you quickly is OneDrive integration. What I have done here is I've actually checked out a couple of assets by just tagging them and then hitting the checkout button here, and then I can go to my checkouts, and I can see that these checkouts are locally these two JPEGs in the system, and remotely this means on my OneDrive account I have these two images also that have been copied there. So if I have a look at my OneDrive account, let's refresh this, you can see that these images are there and they are synced with my OneDrive. And if they're synced with OneDrive, they're obviously also synced with my desktop right here. So what I can do now is from the desktop start editing these images and do a little color adjust. Let's see what we can do. It's visual enough, so let's make it totally sepia. Save this, and then now OneDrive will kick in and we'll send it automatically back to the server. You see it's scanning the files, and then it's hopefully uploading everything. Let's see if we can refresh here. Yep, so we can see that the sepia image is already here, and then we go back to the hub, refresh my checkout page, and I can see that locally I still have in my system the colored image, and remotely in my OneDrive is the sepia image, and I want to actually check this image in. My browser is doing a little weird. Let me quickly reboot Chrome. Sorry for this. Let's check back to my checkouts. I already discarded the other one, and let's me checking this image, and then let's see what happens. So they will first of all disappear from my desktop without me touching anything. They will be sucked into the system, disappear from my desktop, and then if I go search for these images, this is where it is. You can see it already has the new sepia image I created, and in the file history it still has the colored version of this image. So this is a very nice way of working with desktop integration, so you don't have to remember where did I actually download or upload this image. You just check it out, it appears on your desktop, you work it, and you check it back in from the My Checkouts page, and everything is cleaned up for you afterwards. And we never delete previous versions, we just upload it as a new version on the same asset. So that's OneDrive integration. Okay, so let's have a look at Twitter, whether my tweets actually made it. Oh, luckily, there we are. So really nice pork with this image made it to Twitter. Let's see if we go to Facebook. I have a demo account for Facebook. And then also this post made it to Facebook, and you can see that the images is cropped differently per downstream channel we actually use. Okay, this concludes our demo for the M content piece. So we've seen how to search for stuff, how our actual domain model is more than just assets. It's actually products and recipes and campaigns and what have you. We've seen how we can create renditions of files, how we can see files without having to download them, how we can do ad hoc conversions of files. Then we've seen uploading, mass editing of files, and then working with OneDrive for checkouts and check-ins. And then also as a demo implementation, our social media implementation to show you how the system, how social media can be a subscriber of the Content Hub. So that's part one. So part two is all about process and project management. So let me dig right into it. And this is all under the WIP, work in progress link here. And so we have 4 pages here. We have the home page of work in progress. We have the work page, which is my inbox outbox. We have a separate search to search for work in progress. And then we have our resource planning page. So let's go to the home page. And there we can actually see that I have no tasks right now, and I'm working on one program here, which is new poolside blends, and it's 8% done. So how do we calculate this? So let's dig into the program. And this is a setup that we've done for this demo. So we've said that this program contains 3 projects, which are described here as phases. And then this phase 1 is now 15% complete. And so this 15% rolls up to 8% in total because there's 2 other projects here, obviously. And if I then go into the phase 1 project, these are the jobs that need to be done. And so there's product content that needs to be created. There's product images. There's long and short copy and a couple of other jobs. And we can see that only this one is 58% done. So how do we know this? We can look at the timeline. And then we can see everything that's grayed out has not started yet, but this product images job is already in the 3rd stage. The brief stage and the creative stage are finished. And then we're now actively, technically reviewing those product images. And then we'll do some localization. And following this calendar, we will be done somewhere July 27th. This Gantt chart jumps over weekends. We use start dates and durations to calculate all this, and we can even jump over your holidays. So let's have a look at one of the detailed jobs, and then let's try to run a job of our own. Maybe let's do that. Let's go into product content. And so, oh, this one has already started. Let's pick another one. Let's do banners. So we need to create some banners. This is an empty job within this project, and a job always has the following elements. Let me take you through the page here. So first of all, we can see that it's a job. It has the job title over here. It's called banners, and it lives within new poolside blend phase 1, and it consists of 4 phases or stages, stages or gates, or whatever you call them. I can dynamically add stage here, even if the process is in flight. We can shuffle the stages and add stages to make it very flexible. What you will also see is that anything we create here can be saved as a template for later use. So 4 stages, each of the stages has a start date and a duration, and then we calculate the percent done here in real time and roll it up to the program level. So the tabs that we have per job are the brief tab, where people can create a brief and upload content for the brief. There's the deliverables tab, where people that get tasks assigned will upload their deliverables. And then there's the tasks tab, where I can get a view on all of the tasks that were assigned within the scope of this job. And there's the individual timeline for these banners. And then there's the info, where I can actually also have all of the fields I want to describe this job with specific fields instead of just free text. At the left-hand side, we have a discussion going on. This can be on each job page. We can create and then reply on these discussions. We can ask questions. We can see which users are assigned, and there's this activity tab where we can see everything that has happened on this banners stage. So let's start this project or this job. So you can see if I hit the start block, then this one becomes green. Tom the Reader just now started the new block, activated the block. So I can see 9 seconds ago. So all in real time, we see this thing updating, and this is also updating in real time at other people's browsers. So we can see what's going on within this project. We don't force you with anything else. It's still you driving it, but you get full insight of collaboratively what people are doing. So we're in the brief stage. So let me just create a brief here, so I can either type in some Dutch text for my brief, or I could upload an asset. I think I do have a brief asset here, a Word file. I just drop it into the zone, and it will be uploaded here. And it will get the same previews as within the dump system, because this is built on top of the content system. So everything you can do with files in the content system can be done with files in the PM system. So the brief is done, and we're now going to the next stage. Go to next stage, and you can see that the activity goes up, the brief stage is done, becomes the creative stage becomes green, and we're 14% done within this job. So I'm now going to create a little task here to my friend Tim, and I will ask him to upload some files. So the tasks that we have available within the system are annotation tasks. So we want people to annotate on images or files. We want people to approve files. We want people to edit copy. That's something else. It's not about files. It's about actual text content that can be edited, because we think copy and assets go hand in hand. We can ask a bunch of people to start liking a bunch of images, like on Facebook. We can ask direct questions. We can just send somebody a to-do, like do this for me, so that we can track it whether it's done. Or we can ask somebody to upload files. And this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to pick my colleague Tim here, who is sitting next to me, to upload a couple of files. I will put in a due date here, like tomorrow. Hey Tim, please upload the banners. And I'm sending the file to Tim. So having a look at my tasks here, you can see that there's already one task created from Tom de Ridder to Tim Passhuizen just a couple of seconds ago, and this was the transcript. But I can also easily track it here from my work page, where I have multiple items in my inbox that are done. If they're black, they're done. And I have one item in my outbox, and this is a task that I've sent to Tim that actually asks me to upload the file. So I can actually filter on the not started tasks here and here, and I can see that the work that I have to track is actually that Tim is going to upload these files. I obviously also get subscribed to a bunch of emails, but we think it's nicer to manage it nicely from here, play with the filters, and track progress of your work. So let's see what happens if, no, let's first go to the resource planner. So if I go to resource planning now, I can see that everybody's at 0. If I go to page 2, there's Tim here, except Tim, he has one task assigned this week. So this is very, we've tried to rethink resource planning in the creative world, because not all people are always fully assigned to creative work. It's not that they're creating banners their whole time. It's not that they're approving banners their whole time. So we don't need actual hour by hour resource planning, but what we need is workload planning. So we've tried to simplify it and say this week, next week, and in 2 weeks, and we can see Tim has one task assigned. We could also weigh these tasks, but we'll have to ask you what the weight is of each individual task, and then we can actually put a percentage in here. And so you can quickly see the workload of everybody. So Tim now has one task assigned this week. Because it's still gray, it means it's not started yet. So let's ask Tim to accept the task and see what happens. If I refresh here, then it actually moves from gray to green. So we know that this week Tim is working, right now Tim is working on one task. If I would go to the work page, I would see exactly the same thing. This task becomes green, so I know Tim is actually uploading the files. So this is going on in Tim's browser, which you don't see. In a minute, I will do the role of Tim, so you get to see the other part. So let's wait a minute for Tim to finish his task here. See what happened. Okay, it's black, so Tim has finished the task. Let's see what he's been doing. So we can go to the banners detail page and look at the deliverables tab. And I can actually see, if I look at all images, all content, that Tim has uploaded a couple of files here, a PDF and a couple of JPEGs. Those aren't really banners, but it will do for the demo. Let me clear my selection. And what I can do now, or what I will ask Tim to do, is ask him to create me a task to review these assets. So I will push the stage forward. We're in the text review stage. Oh, I could go to the next stage. The text review stage, we're 57% done because the creative stage was a heavy stage. And then Tim will actually do something like this. He will create an approval task and send it to me with a due date. So I'm not going to do it. I'm going to await Tim's task. So Tim has sent out the task. I can go to my home page, and there was this little task pane here that gives me direct insight to the task that I've not started yet. So I need to actually approve something. So let's have a look what happens. So I go to the exact same job detail page, but it renders me this task in the middle of my screen that I can't miss. So I have to approve this, so I accept the task, and I can see that I need to approve these images. So what I can do is I can have a look at them a little bit larger. I can even go to the detail page here and start making some annotations on this file. So this is a PDF file, and we have this nice browser-based PDF annotation tool that requires no plugins and is all HTML5. So you can zoom into your PDF into great detail because it's vector based, and I can make annotations. So I can select this text annotation window here, and I could say to draw to, and you can see it mimics the text here to draw to. You can say change, copy, please. And I add this annotation and it will actually render out in the left panel here. I can switch the panel from left to right if I want that. Or I can make other sorts of annotations like drawing here, and I pick this. You can even move it a little bit. And save it again. It will blink. And so these are the annotations I made, and they are now stored in the system so that other people can see those annotations live when they need to make updates to this file. So let me go back to my task and finish off the task. So I'm going to reject this one, and he will know to look at the annotations, and I'm approving these other files. And then I'm just saying hit that, and I hit the I'm done button, and my task is done. So we can have a look at the task, and then I can see what happened here. I can see I asked Tim to upload a couple of banners. Tim said, here you go, and they were there. Then he asked me to approve the banners, and I said, did that. I also have a nice little activity here of when everything actually happened, so that I can get the audit trail actually of what went on this job. And then we could move it to the next stage. You can see that we're 86% done. And then before localization or even after localization, I could check. I only want to see the approved or rejected assets. I want to see the approved ones. I can even see the details here if they were likes. And then I can select them. And I can actually send them to the DOM. And they will then appear in the My Uploads zone automatically, from where I then can finish the full metadata that's required before being available to a product or to a campaign within the DOM. We can obviously use any of the metadata that was gathered here around this campaign to already use in the DOM system. So let's zoom out a little bit so you can see 86% done on this job. If we take it up one level, we can see that this one is 58, this one is 86. In total, this means that this phase is 24% done. And then let's take it up one level, and then we can see that the actual phase one it's 24, and then on the program level we're 12% done. So you get a nice roll-up of the number of stages and the weight of each stage that has been done, so you know whether you're on track or not, and you can see that also within your timeline manager. All right, that is I think what I wanted to show you from M project. So what you need to remember is it is any structure of program, project, job, name it the way you want it, can work, and then you can build this with timelines and stages, and then each job can have tasks within the job assigned to different people at the same time, and then you can move the stages from one status to another. So it's collaborative project management with a heavy DOM underneath it, so that we can process all of the files and all of the previews and do real-time annotations in HTML5 without plugins required. Okido. Let's look at one more thing that I wanted to show you. So Tim talked about the Content Hub itself being 3 circles. So the first circle was, and let me take back this slide deck here, the middle circle was the actual repository. So we've seen that, how to search the repository and how to look for more than just assets. I've just demoed the second circle here, which is the creative project management and collaboration tools to get content in and approved and collaborate on content here. And then I will now show a sneak preview of the last version of the third pillar here, which is our marketing and brand portal. So let me search to my portal demo. This system allows me to create editorial pages that work next to my database content or my product content, where I can actually freely describe a marketing campaign with all of the widgets available to me. So let's quickly start and create a new page here, and it's like any WCMS, not without the intention of creating public pages here, but it's the intention of creating pages for my marketing community, so that I can give context to the database fields. Create new page, and then I have this editor here that allows me to dynamically create a visual template from 1 to 5 columns. So let's start with creating something that is 3 columns, and then in each column I have the possibility to add a widget. So let's look at the available widgets that we've created so far, and one that I really like is actually an icon box. So let me show you what an icon box looks like. I can actually type some text in here, set a title, or and then pick an icon, and then update this, and this will render in something nice very quickly. So if I publish this, let's see how it looks. Very simple. It's creating this edit box that would have cost you some time to create this in HTML. So we're not giving you a rich text editor like many systems do. We give you a widget editor where we think you can get the best designs from with the least amount of work. So let's create 2 more icon boxes here. And a third one. There we go, and you can see within minutes we can build modern web pages. Obviously, if I update this, this all goes, that are also responsive. That will resample towards the image. Let me show you one more widget to make it a little bit more interesting, and then I give you back your precious time. Let's create a one column row here and move it up to the front. And let me add a slideshow in here. And so slideshow allows me to actually create slides. Let's pick something here, insert this into the page. Let me add another slide. And so I have 2 slides here. I can actually start editing text on this slide. And make this black is okay, I think. Arial. Okay. People are not going to like this. Move this around. And I can set animations on the slideshow, so that it's actually doing a tiles 3D animation here. And then I can update this, and let's see how this looks. So you can see that there's this little progress bar, and then it's actually moving to the next deck. So I can build nice looking banners if I'm a bit of a designer of rotating shows to create compelling pages within minutes without the need of any HTML designer. All right. This brings me to the end of my demo.
For those of you that may have some questions, there is on the GoToMeeting app a panel that says questions. If you type in the question, we can try to help you there. For the people that have other commitments, we are almost at the hour. Thank you for attending. and we'll stay on for a little bit longer to take some questions. Thank you.